This is Fresh Air. I'm Terry Gross. My guest, Peter Dinklage, is best known for his starring role in the independent film The Station Agent. He played a man who feels shut out by others because he's a dwarf. Dinklage is 4.5 feet tall. He had a very funny scene in the Will Ferrell movie Elf. His new film, Find Me Guilty, is a departure from roles that focus on his size. He plays the lead defense attorney, Ben Clandis, in the trial of the Lucchese crime family. Here's Dinklage making his opening statements to the jury.
I have the fate of Carlo Mascarpone in my hands. There he is, sitting near his brother Gino. They didn't join the Lucchese family because they already had one. The family created by Mr. and Mrs. Mascarpone. It's called biology. You'll hear a lot about my client's flamboyant lifestyle. His wife, Rosalind, sits in this courtroom, married 17 years, 4 children. That's a lifestyle. He goes to St. Lucy's Church. His wife teaches CCD. That's a lifestyle. Many of these defendants are related, some are friends or neighbors that have known each other since playing Little League baseball together. That's a lifestyle. They are a family. Not the kind of family the government talks about. They would twist it. They would make it evil. But all we're asking for, ladies and gentlemen, is to let justice be done, though the heavens may fall. Thank you.
I asked Peter Dinklage how he prepared for his role in Find Me Guilty.
A couple of years ago, I had served on a jury for a murder case, actually, and we found the kid not guilty, and I kind of loosely based my defense attorney on this defense attorney that this young man had, court-appointed attorney, and he was so good, and he was so persuasive, and almost like an actor. There's not much difference, I think, besides their knowledge of the law between an actor and a lawyer when it comes to presenting their case in front of a jury. They can become showmen, and sometimes playing a lawyer, you feel like you're overacting, but that's kind of what they do. And remembering this guy really helped me, and so that was sort of the research I had done.
Now, how'd you get the part in the film?
Sidney Lumet had seen a movie I did called The Station Agent, and he really liked that film and the job I did with that. So he was kind enough to offer me the role, which I didn't even read the script when he offered it to me, and I said yes, because it's Sidney Lumet. You don't really turn down Sidney Lumet if you're an actor. He's the greatest actors, director. He understands actors, and you rehearse for a couple weeks before the cameras roll, and he makes you feel very well prepared as an actor.
The only reference in the movie that I can think of to your height is at one point while addressing the jury, you stand on a little box to lift you up a little bit. So was this was the role written specifically for you or for
someone my size?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, not at all. That was Sidney. That was Sidney's idea. But I love about the film is it doesn't address it. I mean, it does and it doesn't, which is so true to life. And I think that was Sidney's idea to wheel out this podium. But like I was saying before about the sort of the drama of it all, and to sort of, I think that was Sidney's intention to sort of have this almost. It gave Clandis a little bit more power in a way, and a little bit more persuasiveness, and maybe even a little sympathy, which you utilize all of that. Lawyers utilize everything at their disposal to gain the sympathy of the jury, especially in a criminal case like this.
Was it refreshing for you to get a role that wasn't built around your size?
Always. I mean, I don't want to be in denial about roles that are written for my size and everything, because that's important too. I mean, a good role is all about the writing and who's there to direct you and guide you through it. Obviously, a movie like The Station Agent dealt with it, but it didn't hit you over the head with it. It's only part of who a character is, just like it's a part of who I am as a person, but it's not everything. And I think the fault of a lot of writing is, with scripts I've read that I don't end up doing, is it's the entire character. Everything, every other line is referring to the size, or everybody's referring around, the other characters are always referring to the size of the person. And that's just not good writing. That just doesn't happen, you know. It's once in a while something will come up and on a day-to-day basis, but that's the more realistic version of what life as a short-statured person is.
Well, in The Station Agent, which you starred in, you played a man who inherits an abandoned station agent house on an abandoned railroad line, and you decide
Right.
to move into it. And you're so lonely and withdrawn, largely because of your size in the film, that it makes you feel different from everyone else. And after you've removed yourself to this like isolated, abandoned place, you end up making actually really close friends from nearby
Yeah.
who have their own issues that have left them feeling lonely and
Right.
and
That's
disaffected.
yeah. Tom McCarthy wrote the script. That's sort of his he illustrated that so well, so subtly, and yeah, we had a great time making that movie.
Now, you say that you don't like the kind of role where every line is about your height. You know, I want to play a line, like it's a couple of lines from The Station Agent, and I'd like to play this like short scene, and then tell me what you like or don't like about the scene, and what made you comfortable about doing it. I should say that your character in this, in the outside world, is always, people are always just saying exactly the wrong thing and mocking him. Kids call him sneezy, and people meet him and they go, "Deplane, deplane," and then this is one of the friends that he's made. This is like the hot dog guy who runs the stand right outside of your home, and he's talking to you about really personal stuff. So here's that little clip.
Okay.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
You've had sex, right?
Yes.
With a regular-sized chick?
Yeah. With a regular-sized chick.
You ever had it with someone your own size?
No.
Do you wanna?
I don't want to talk about this, Joe.
Why?
I just don't.
Peter Dinklage, what works about that scene for you, and did anything about it make you uncomfortable?
Well, yeah, what I loved, and especially what Bobby Cannavale did, what he brought to it, it was almost like aggressive. His questioning, and I just love how Bobby plays that scene. It really helped me like get uncomfortable, actually. No, not just the way it was written, but how Bobby sort of forced these answers out of me, his character. And that's something that, I mean, Tom and I had a lot of long talks about, stuff related to my size and the day-to-day issues, and he used that in the script, and it was really interesting working that way.
Is this the kind of question people actually ask you? Inappropriate people who shouldn't be asked, people who don't know you well enough to ask anything so presumptuous.
Right. Well, what I find that scene is, it should be a little uncomfortable, but it's also really important. I think it really brings those two characters closer together, because it's sort of it's an honesty that Bobby's character Joe has, that he's very forthright and doesn't see anything really wrong about asking me those questions, as a lot of people who are very politically correct or something would. And the question is, what's worse, being sort of forthright and not seeing anything wrong about asking questions like that, or being sort of politically correct and very reserved? And I think being very reserved about stuff in life in general, not even stuff with people's differences, can be damaging, being too reserved. I mean, like when I'm walking down the street and a child points at me and questions who I am, and a mother or father tells them to look the other way, I don't find that to be healthy at all. Because those people are going to grow up to be sort of people who look away, and that's just, there comes a point where it's let somebody be curious, and if they're if it comes, you know when it's coming from the right place. And I think with a character like Joe, and with stuff I've dealt with friends in my own personal life, honesty is and being forthright can be really healthy for a relationship.